Hi, Jim Romer. Welcome to the Fun Farm Soft Play Center, talking about soft commodities. Maybe I should be in the funny farm myself. This video recorded on the 24th of July. Talk about how I call the bear market and sugar prices. Let's look at all the weather around the world and what's going on with Brazil, real, etc. The spike high in cocoa prices, is that in? And what's driving the cotton and also coffee market? So first of all, you can also take advantage of my newsletter. Big trades over the last few months in cocoa, easily pays for the service for several years in my calls in cocoa on bad weather last year, and more recently, the collapse in sugar prices, the improvement in the monsoon, things like that, and get a 2-week free trial period if you have not had one already, or even download a free report from my website and the link here today on the bottom of this report. So cocoa has been kind of all over the place the last few weeks or so. Concerns about Ghana sales, a poor mid-crop that we've known for 4 or 5 months with disease issues and dry weather during the winter. But look at my in-house program, Climate Predict, predicting the weather for the next month or two in West Africa, looking at teleconnections, sea ice, what's going on with La Nina, the Arctic Oscillation Index, all represent a kind of a drier trend. There's some people talking about, oh, dry weather is going to hurt the cocoa crop. No, we need dry weather to reduce disease issues, the opposite of last summer when we saw a big spike in prices because of lower production, in part because of disease problems. One of my best trades for clients over the last few months, catching part of the move up and also the move down with options and future strategies. So what about cotton? My weather spiders that I've used for all commodities for traders and farmers around the world. Look at the anti-herd mentality. How many people are long or short of market? Moisture indices in various countries, the technical aspect of the market, pattern recognition, global crops. You can see that back in mid-May, 2 months ago, I had a -10 very bearish spider. And as a result, cotton prices have actually collapsed in part because of poor Chinese demand. When I change these spiders, you change your position. You change whether you're in futures or options, or you do spreads, things like that. And that's what I teach in my Weather Wealth newsletter. So how did I predict the new bear market in sugar in this recent 10% collapse over the last 3 weeks? Before Chernikov came out with their estimates of increased production for this year, I saw the Indian monsoon improving, the Thailand crops improving, and indeed, I got traders that may have been long the ETF cane over the last few months or so out near the highs of that market on my ideas of an increase in global production. You can see my weather spider actually several weeks ago became bearish before this 10% collapse. Again, the global crop score -2. The only reason it's not a -4, extremely bearish as far as the global crop score is my concern about the Brazil drought. Not yet a concern right now to the market, unless it continues during the wet season that begins in the spring down there in September and October. So my spider has been relatively bearish, catching this move for clients. As a result, the last time we saw really a projected increase in stocks at this level was the 2017-2018 season. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. So people are talking about La Nina. I've been saying for 3 months it's going to be delayed until the fall, the North American fall. That will have implications for global commodities. To the right, though, you can see above normal rainfall, 150% or more of normal in key sugar areas over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And that gives ideas and warrants the Indian government perhaps not restricting exports later this year. Last summer, they restricted exports on a poor monsoon, and sugar prices soared. The opposite's happening right now. So going back to the last time we saw this big increase in stocks was 2018 in sugar. Notice how we had about a 20 to 25% collapse by mid-June through October in sugar. And that's kind of where my feeling has been over the last few weeks or so, that we could get down as low as 15 cents. Will we get to 15 cents? What kind of put option strategies have we employed for clients? Will things change with the weather? Will Brazil's drought be a factor that may become bullish later this year? We'll give you all that information in Weather Wealth. Download a 2-week free trial period. So this was the coffee market a day or so ago here before we collapsed. We had a spike high there, as you see, above 250 about a week or two ago. My ideas and other people's ideas, the Brazil crop has dropped significantly from hot, dry weather. But then the lower Brazil real heads selling by producers. Too many speculators along the market helped depress this market sharply here late this past week. As you can see, my spider was kind of in the neutral to friendly category a couple weeks ago. Not extremely bullish because of the anti-herd mentality. Too many people long the market there. Look at that, 90% of specs. And once we got below support early on this week, the spider actually is a little bit more neutral to bearish right now. What's going to happen in September and October, the key Brazilian areas for coffee? So if we have a La Nina form, my in-house Climate Predict program predicts above normal rainfall. The one caveat, or two caveats, of course, is deforestation and the record warm global oceans around the world that could offset this wet signal. If we get dry in September and October, the key bloom stage for Brazil coffee, it will explode. If we get wet weather down there, the market will break 10 to 15% by November. I'm also looking at the Indian dipole, which will become negative, as you see there on the right. That's very important for Australians' weather in West Africa, and also what happens with northern Brazil sugar and coffee. The Indian dipole going negative has to do with the ocean temperatures around the Indian Ocean, combined with La Nina. Both predict, look at that, kind of a wet signal as we get into October. So this drought could potentially ease in northern Brazil. And if that happens, sugar will go down to at least 13 to 15 cents in the next 6 months. Once again, we distill all this information. There's too much free stuff out there, folks, too many opinions. We're doing this for 40 years. We understand trading, not only short and long-term weather forecast. Feel free to download a free issue of my newsletter or a 2-week free trial period. Learn about grains, softs, and natural gas commodities. Enjoy.